good morning, folks. This morning, the last installment of my Gunnison trip videos was released on YouTube, and it was the home stretch from Amarillo to Houston, and not a very interesting video in terms of scenery or anything like that, but it was part of the trip, and you know, it does count as well. The trip itself, as you know by now if you've watched the whole series, was quite an eventful one. It was cut short by weather. There was a freak winter storm that came through on the Wednesday, or the Tuesday afternoon, and then extending into the Wednesday, and that cut short the ride. But still, the trip was fantastic still, despite that. .24 in the morning, so it's not too busy yet at Burroughs Park, but looks like there's going to be soccer tournaments here again, or soccer games anyway. Hopefully there's not too many people where I'm going. But weather here in Houston is cooling down, so I'll be able to do a lot more you know, maintenance work and so on in my garage. One of the things that I've got to do is do my shaft spline lubrication, and definitely the rear spline, but I'm also hoping to pull the whole drive shaft out to see how that looks, because it has a spline on the front end as well, and it's got two universal joints, one at each end of the drive shaft, and each one can fail, so it's a good idea to pull the drive shaft and do a proper inspection, you know. All right, let's do this. As I was saying earlier on, the last video in the series for the Gunnison trip dropped this morning, and hopefully you enjoyed the whole series. I enjoyed making it. The trip was a really enjoyable trip, even though it was cut short by the weather, but I definitely will be going back to Gunnison sometime in the future. It is certainly worth the extra effort to get there, to spend some time. Again, probably do a week in Gunnison, just to do it justice. And but I don't know when that's going to be. Next year we're going to Logan, Ohio for our ride-in, and we're going to be riding in the area around there. So we'll see how next year goes, and then I'll make maybe my own trip back to Gunnison again at some point in time. As for this fall, the weather is cooling off here in Houston, and that means I should be able to do my motor camping, and also to work a little bit more on the bikes in the garage, because the garage gets pretty damn hot. Like I was mentioning, I do want to do my rear spline service on my RS. Actually, I want to pull the whole drive shaft out and lube both splines, the forward spline as well as the aft spline, and inspect also the universal joints, make sure that everything is good. That has been occasionally known to fail, and when that fails, it's a $1,200 part if it doesn't damage the rest of the engine. It's fairly early here today. The sun is now coming up, and there was a little bit of fog, I believe, earlier on, and that would have burned off by now because I don't see any evidence of fog. But there's a few people in the park, and they're doing their fishing and stuff like that, and so shaping up to be a nice day. Another thing that I'm supposed to be doing is going on a road trip with this bike. I have not figured out yet where to go. I wanted to go up and do the Three Sisters in the Texas Hill Country, but really that's not an overnight trip. That's at least a 3-day trip. You want to, you know, ride up there. It'll take about 4 hours to ride there and 4 hours to ride back, and get a day of riding in the area, and take your time, you know, to see the area. So we'll see how that goes coming up in the fall. Well folks, I think this is going to be the end of this vlog, and hope you enjoyed whatever footage I was able to get, and hopefully the angle of the rear facing camera is a good one. So until I see you in the next video, stay safe, keep the shiny side up, and talk to you later.